not leaving college with huge debts. We have the privilege of being in the top national 10 universities where people graduate with the least debt. And it's in your package. And we didn't make these numbers up. It was a national organization. Every couple of years they do an assessment. And so I often, when I'm speaking to groups, would say, I'll give you $100 if you can tell me what the following universities have in common. In that top 10 list is Princeton, is Howard, is Fort Valley State, is Gallaudet, which is a national deaf university, and Cal State Sacramento. So not only are we accredited, not only the regional accreditation, but specific individual accreditations. The affordability is a nationally recognized affordability. But let me say finally, we expect the partnering to extend beyond the partnering that we have right now. I was saying to Dr. Crew, and I think he had to leave, I'd like to see the number of countries we have flags in that student amenities grow in terms of the number of students from those countries. It happens now that Nigeria is a country with the single largest foreign students. But for me, that's not enough. We've got to have more Nigerians, more Ghanaians, more Chinese, more. Our intent is to really make the globalization a reality. And so I look forward to continuing the conversation through the ambassador, with your state, with your university. We're pursuing the following active globalization for recruitment. We're trying to do Nigeria robustly. We're working with Botswana. We're starting working with Malaysia. 2 weeks ago, we had a delegation from Trinidad and Tobago. My inauguration 3 weeks ago, we had a delegation from Guyana. Incidentally, the Vice Chancellor is a Nigerian, Jacob Opodei. We signed a memorandum with Guyana. And so there are several entities we are interested in pushing global. But here is the challenge we face, and it comes to one of the observations you made. Because we are a state university, we have limits to how much we can do for international student scholarship. And we therefore are obliged to work with countries where the students who are coming can be paid for. Paid for by the state, paid for by the federal government, paid for by the individuals. We have students who come to study. One graduated last December from Nepal, paid his own way to come and study his master's here. So our limitations and the budget, largely because we're a state university, we don't have the funding to give to international students. And so we're looking for partnering, including partnering on funding opportunities, whether by governments of federal, governments of state, individual companies that can help those students come. And so that is the agenda that we have, and I'm delighted to know that there are areas of synergy. The agricultural enterprise that is part of your state, we've got expertise. We'd love to find ways to have you benefit, and we benefit from those expertise on each part of the divide. Now, we couldn't get you goat milk ice cream, but we're going to give you goat milk soap.
Together for the promotion of any enterprise, basically. I think that's what it's just like the job, that kind of. So, but the Isusu is being used in the most part of eastern Nigeria. So that's the word Isusu. What is called a job in our own,
Okay, I saw a hand up there. You wanted to explain?
Yeah, basically, like you said, it's a periodic contribution by a group of people that agree to use the money contributed for something specific or for individual investments. That's an area I've researched a lot, and actually I did my PhD thesis on it, on how you use it to fund housing in Nigeria.
It could be farmers.
It can be farmers, it can be anybody.
Well, thank you very much for hosting us, and this very, very, very grateful. You've been around Georgia now for the past 7 days, and tomorrow we leave for Nigeria. I think this is a very good
Finale.
a very good end to our trip, and probably the most interesting part of the trip as a whole. I'm listening very carefully to the staff, faculty, staff, and those we met in the different facilities we visited. And some of us are surprised that there's a university here, Fort Valley University, that is doing so much, and we know so little about this university. Well, the presentations, we had expected that the presentation, at least part of it will include admission requirements, since your focus is to get more students here, fees that are payable, opportunities like scholarships that are available, so that as we go home tomorrow, we carry this information along with us. This information is very critical. Secondly, having been myself a foreign student, so to speak, in 2 different countries, I think there is probably the need for you to open up to the rest of the world, since, as you said, the President, you want to bring in more students here. Thirdly, I also want to say that we also have a state university, a new one at that, 5 years old, and we actually took one of our own back from here to be the president of the university. And he's busy walking around the world to see those universities, our young university, can collaborate with, so that we can quickly move forward. I'm going to, of course, arrange so that we can communicate with you. In Nigeria, presidents of universities have 5 years tenure, but because he has done very well in the last 5 years, we have changed the law to allow him to run for the next 5 years, I would say. Kwara State is essentially agrarian, and there's a lot that we believe our state can do with our university. Most of what we do in agriculture is essentially production. We have not moved to the next stage of adding value to what we produce. I'm talking about processing. That aspect of processing is still at a very rudimentary level. Probably we can look at what we are already doing, especially in the departments of animal production and veterinary medicine, where you actually drive your program to a level that students can see how meat is processed and how also milk is processed. I think these are very important. We, in our place, we specialize in 4 crops, but we have others. Cassava, I don't know if that means anything. I must say cassava. It's a tuber crop, big tubers in the soil. Make a lot of things from it, like flour and starch. Cassava syrup is also used in the pharmaceutical industries. And then we grow rice. I'm from rice growing zone. And we also grow soya beans, and corn, a lot of corn. Recently, we're also looking at some crops that could be used to produce biodiesel. And there are some pilot farms producing jatropha, that so far. I think you know something about that. Because it's a non-food tree crop. We don't want to use those crops that we also eat to produce biodiesel at this stage, because that would be a very stiff competition between food for consumption and food for biodiesel. So, sir, and distinguished members of Fort Valley University, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity you've given us. Many of us here are parents, and definitely through Ambassador getting back to you. But one question that must also be answered, because I'm sure the Ambassador is very much aware of this, that in Nigeria, people try to rate universities, and if you mention that you have studied at a university that they are not familiar with, people begin to raise questions, especially that there is an impression that there are some universities in America that are not very, that are not up to standard, stuff like that, some maybe smaller universities. So I think that there is, I've said this before, just for emphasis, there is need for your university, sir, to really do some PR publicity work. And from what we have seen, we also tell the story. From what we have seen, we've had, and believe we are going to read.
We have a long, strong history of doing both academics and academics. The supporting program is very robust, and so I'm delighted to hear, I'm not surprised that many of our students will be in the draft, have been drafted this year for the NFL. Opportunity for questions, comments. We have, we know we're behind the schedule, but we want to give you an opportunity to talk about anything you heard or saw. Ambassador Telabi knows, Mr. Samuel J. knows, that part of our mission is to broaden our diversity of the nations who are represented at our university. And I'm anxious to get more Nigerian students coming beginning this year.
Okay.
Want to get as many from Kwara State. Want to have as many from River State. We don't want to have Ambassador State be left out. There may be a Kwara Rivers competition, and let's see who wins. But, ladies and gentlemen, not only are we delighted to host you, we also believe in following up. We also believe in making tangible. And so we'll be talking with the Ambassador about the extent to which your visit here today can lead to tangible things. We have faculty not only in agriculture from the continent of Africa, we have faculty in arts and sciences. As a matter of fact, one of our professors just returned a few weeks ago, Dr. George Mbata, who is the chairman of our biology department, had a Fulbright lecture series in Nigeria accompanied by the chairman of our chemistry department, Dr. Daniels. So we are anticipating increasing our faculty engagement, but a priority for us is to bring as many students from as many parts of your country and many parts of other countries to benefit from the expertise that we have and to enable others to learn. Cultural interchange for me is just as important as the intellectual interchange.
Legislators, the interim dean for the College of Arts and Sciences, and on behalf of the College of Arts and Sciences, we're delighted to have you as part of our family today. Enjoy your visit with us.
This is all the introduction, then we go to the crew introduction and official.
Donovan College, Special Assistant President for Strategic Initiatives.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Fort Valley State University. I am Denise Edie. I I am the Special Assistant to the President for Compliance and the Director for Strategic Initiatives. Look forward to working with you on any initiatives that Fort Valley State and we come to a conclusion. Thank you.
Multicultural educational learning environment. Yes, and I also pointed out that in Nigeria we have 127 universities, but we couldn't even absorb 50% of students that are qualified to go into universities. So the people are brought here. They are not. We have a deputy speaker, was the key official of the state holding the position of Commissioner of Agriculture, and we also have a permanent secretary here, that's the administrative head of a ministry, incidentally of agriculture, and the state we come from is one of the leading agricultural states you have in Nigeria. Right. We have seen around, and I believe they will take away a few things. And importantly, there are also parents of potential students. Right. Yes, they will go and bring gospel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gospel according to Kwara State Leader.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You graciously accepted the invitation, and you have not taken us around, giving us a very warm reception. We are not, as a matter of fact, expecting this. It shows the continuation of the generosity, of the hospitality, and of their spirit, and which you have remarkably, from time to time displayed. I think this is the second time I've been here of this kind of sumptuousness. So I take this opportunity on behalf of everybody here to express a very warm gratitude to you, the able staff, for this wonderful hospitality, and reception. I was just talking to the press about, you asking me about my impression about Fort Valley University and what we
doing football game on stadium, it just becomes part of the stadium venue. Here,
Stadium is back there.
and so from up there, you get a very beautiful view of the stadium. The students gather here all day long. This is where they would eat. The part of the meal plan is eat here or in the dining hall. And what usually happens, their money here when we runs out, they go back to the dining hall. But we get a lot of, this is called a second student center. The students gather here. They have a game room here. Student government has an office up here. Student activity has an office on this end. So they come here for a lot of events here as well. They have this one, then they have the old student center up the street. So typically we got about 1,800 students living here in the housing area. This is a lot closer for them to come and to hang out. This is open to 11 o'clock at night. So they'll hang out here, they'll eat here, or they go to the old student center. Now, the community can come here also. So there's no Chick-fil-A in town, so they come here. So this is close to Chick-fil-A. This is based on the value of Chick-fil-A. Okay. It is one of the very popular food.
I think close to 36 is 35.
And so we put in this
So because now we can bring in 5,000.
Some flags are more popular, or somebody keeps spilling them. They keep disappearing, keep but the idea here was to, as part of Dr. Griffith's initiative, was to become a local partner.
One of the big floppy ears, that's their distinctive feature. When you see those big floppy ears, you know that's a loop. Sun and pure white, and the alpine will be a combination of several different colors. Those are the three breeds that we have here. Any other questions?
What do you do today?
The milk, we use those. The males, we use those for different experiments. Whenever our graduate students are doing their particular studies, and we use the males to make our meat products.
How long does it take to grow food size?
It's going to depend on the diet, but normally they're ready for harvesting in about 7 months. These are about 2 weeks old. 2 weeks. We use some of the milk that we have there. We use it as well to feed the kids.
Okay, please. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. And we hope you enjoy your stay here at Fort Valley State University. And anytime you're in the area, please stop by the visit. Something about ladies. Y'all love babies.
Then is there a particular breed that produces most milk?
Well, we have 3 breeds dairy goats here at the facility: the Sunning, the Alpine, and the Nubian. Alpine and Sunning are your better milk producers. They run neck and neck. But the Nubians don't produce as much milk as Sunnings or Alpines, but who request milk from time to time. We have grad students who have projects that they're doing that require milk. One of our professors is a dairy specialist, and he's developing margarine, butter made from goat milk. Once we decide what we want to do with the milk, we can pump it over into the next room, which is the pasteurization room. Pasteurization, that ranges. As Mr. Hollis said, our facility was completed in the mid-1980s. We have a herd of about 125 milking does. The females, are like human females, are the ones that produce the milk after they've had, we call baby goat kids. Like we call humans, babies, kids. So our animals are kept here in pasture during the daytime, and at night we bring them inside our barn and holding area. There we milk twice a day, in the morning at 6 a.m. and again in the afternoon at 4 p.m. So we'll bring our animals in. One thing that we've learned about dairy goats in particular is the more you have contact with them, the easier they are to handle. Yes. So when the guys come in the morning, they open the pens, the animals line up and go because they knew they become conditioned to being milked at that particular time. So they'll come in here in this college area, the milking pit.
Yeah.
There we can milk 6 animals at a time. Each one of the stalls is equipped with what we call a Metatron, that computer face board that you see on each stall. You come to the view under here and you can get a better look. But that's called a Metatron, and it measures the amount of milk that each animal produces.
Yeah.
Of course,
The goats are housed right here on this facility. They're brought in daily for milking. They're milked right here in this facility, and the milk is transferred to these tanks, which process the milk, chills them, and then across the door here, the hall over here, the milk is pasteurized and further processed. I'm gonna let Mr. Green give you a little more detail about our operation. Mr. Green, he's the manager of the dairy facility.
good morning.
Morning, Green.
First of all, we'd like to welcome you to Fort Valley State University Dairy Technology Center. As our name implies, at the Dairy Technology Center, our research revolves around developing products from goat milk. Some of the products that we're developing at this particular time.